Yeah, it's funny. Merry Christmas. I'm going to say some things that may sound crazy.
Uh-oh. Nice.
And that's why I'm here. Is to say some things to you that might sound crazy. I'm not here to say what you've heard all the time. That's not my goal. That's not what I'm here for, right? That's not what you're here for.
No.
You're not here to just hear the same thing you've heard a million times before. And so I refuse to do it. I refuse to be politically correct. I refuse to try to censor myself based on how you're going to react to what I say, because I got to demonstrate what I'm teaching, and I'm not demonstrating what I'm teaching if I'm acting like everybody else is, which means I think I have to be liked. I'm going to handle that. I need to be liked. I'm going to like me.
There you go.
Yeah.
That was the brilliant solution I've come to. So I want to suggest that to you, that why don't you like you?
I like you.
And then it's great. Then it's like icing on the cake if you like me. You see what I'm saying? But if you don't like me, then I like me. So I'm okay. I'm cool. You see, because my outer world is going to reflect how I feel about myself. My outer world is going to reflect how I feel about myself. Your outer world is going to reflect how you feel about yourself. And so we've been talking about the test of truth. And I'm going to go deeper into that. It's chapter 14 in the text, section 11 in paragraph 6. But I'm going to start just a little bit before that. And let's see here. I love to talk about this stuff.
Can you say it again, chapter 14?
Yeah, we're going to chapter 14. If you're in the book, it's going to be on page. It's going to be on page 297 in the text. I love you.
I love you.
Thank you. I love you. And so, since I love you, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to do a thing to interfere with you. I'm not going to do a freaking thing to interfere with you. I'm not going to come up with a script for how you're supposed to be to make me happy. I'm not going to come up with fantasies about you. I'm not going to come up with things I want you to do. I'm not going to come up even with anything I want you to act or how I want you to behave. Because I love you.
Thank you.
Because I love you. Now, if I didn't love you, I'd have 100 scripts for you, a lot of grievances, things I think you should be doing, ways I think you should be treating me, and things how I think you should be acting. I'd be blaming you for what I'm going through and making you responsible for my happiness. That's what I'd be doing if I did not love you. So it's real easy for me to tell who's expressing love for me and who's not expressing love for me. And it's real easy for me to tell who I'm expressing love for and who's not. And if somebody's not expressing love for me, I don't feel guilty because I don't respond to it. So I'm less inclined to try to do things that people don't love me ask me to do. And I'm more prone to not let them control how I feel because they don't love me. How I know they don't love me? They're trying to control me, they're criticizing me, judging me, blaming me, having scripts for me, fantasies for me, and holding me responsible for what they're going through. They don't love me. I also can forgive them because they're me, and I can forgive them because I do the same thing and have done the same thing and may do the same thing myself. Because I learned the same erroneous lessons that they learned, you see. I learned that that's the way you're supposed to do. So this section that we've been doing is called the test of truth. And when we left off in the last episode, it was saying to us that when your peace is threatened, or disturbed in any way, say to yourself, whenever your peace is threatened or disturbed when your peace is disturbed in any way, it says, say to yourself, I don't understand what anything including this means. So I'm upset with you, I'm threatened by you. The first thing I should say to myself is, I don't understand what this means. I'm upset with you, I don't understand what this means. Then it says you should say after that, and so since I don't know what anything including this means, I don't know how to respond to it. So since I don't know what this means, I don't know how to respond to it. I'm threatened by you, I'm upset with you, something's come down. I'm going to say I don't understand what anything including this means. And then I'm going to tell myself, and so I don't know how to respond to it. When you're upset, tell yourself you don't know how to respond to it. When you're upset, tell yourself you don't know how to respond to it. When you're upset, tell yourself you don't know how to respond to it. Why don't you know how to respond to it? Because you don't know what it means. You don't know what anything means, including the thing that you're upset about and that you feel threatened about. Then the Course in Miracles says, and so I do not know how to respond to it, and so I won't use my own past learning as the light to guide me now. So then I go, then I'm not going to use my own past learning as the light. I don't know what this means. I don't know how to respond to it. And I'm not going to use the stuff I've learned in the past and the way I've dealt with you in the past as the way that I'm going to let guide me. Okay, I know how to attack, I know how to reject, I know how to get upset, I know how to get mad about what you've done because I feel threatened, so I'm going to tell myself, I don't understand what this means, and so I don't really know how to respond to it, and I'm not going to use the old learning that tells me to blame you, attack you, as the light that would guide me now. I'm not going to use what I learned from the world as the truth that's going to guide me now. Whenever you're upset and threatened about anything, whenever you're upset or threatened by anything, didn't say anything but. It didn't say anything but. You're threatened by a bill you just got, threatened by a strange looking little bump on you, threatened by the fact that you went out on a date and the person changed their phone number. And moved. So, before you feel rejected, tell yourself, I don't know what anything including this means, and so I don't know how to respond to it. So I'm not going to use my own past learning as the light to guide me now. Okay, now the Course in Miracles says that you should remember only this. You need not believe the ideas. Because I can't shock you if you think you got to believe. You're not going to have fun. You're not going to. Matter of fact, I'm going to say some things that I want to see how it triggers you. See how it affects you from here on out. Not just today. I'm going to give you blunt, cold-blooded Course in Miracles. I'm going to give you cold-blooded, and I'm going to make you mad sometimes. You're just going, oh, man. I'm never coming back.
I dare you.
I'm not going to come back. I said I want to hear something new, and he said something different. That's what new means. Different. Right? So, it says in that section, I'm in section, paragraph 6 is where I'm going to be covering first. And I'm just going to tell you what it says. First of all, it says, don't be concerned about how you can learn something on your own that's completely different from everything you've learned. So it says you don't have to accept the ideas, welcome the ideas. Some of it you're going to resist actively. Then it says some of the ideas you will find hard to believe, hard to believe, hard to believe, hard to believe, hard to believe. And then it says other ideas may seem to be quite startling, quite startling, quite startling, quite startling. Startling means startling. And then it tells us that you are not asked to judge the ideas at all. Nobody's asking for your opinion. It's not a powerful contribution to the truth.
Oh.
It doesn't make the truth true because I understand it and I agree with it, right? And then it says, it's the use of the ideas that will give them meaning to you. It's the use that will show you that the ideas are true. So when I use, I don't understand what anything including this means, and so I don't know how to respond to it, and so I'm not going to use my past learning as the light to guide me now. That's using it. If I read it and hear it in the class, and as soon as somebody makes you mad, you go off on them like you always have, and you don't say this, you're not using the ideas, so don't look for the results. That's fair enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're not doing it, don't look for the results. I used to do that. I'd hear something and then look for the results. I'd analyze something and then look for the results. I come to a class like this and oppose 90% of South, 90% of the ideas, and then look for the results. So don't look for the results until you applied it. If you don't apply it, you're still cute, innocent, juicy, fine, luscious, desirable. There you go. Now, we have to time that just right. You know what I'm saying? Just right? No, well, that cool? Yeah. And then the course says, now when you say you won't use your own past learning as the light to guide you, this is you refusing to attempt to teach yourself what you don't know. So you got to actively refuse to teach yourself what you don't know. It says that when you do that, then God will take its rightful place in your awareness and speak to you. So the higher power will take its place in your awareness and give you guidance and tell you what to do. Tell me what to do, because I'm upset with you as soon as I refuse to attempt to teach myself how to respond in a way that I don't really understand yet. Mm-hmm. So then he says, spirit will take its rightful place in your awareness. But when will spirit take its rightful place in your awareness? This is when you abandon it. So we're good at abandoning, separating. So this is a book that's asking us to use a muscle we're really good at: abandoning, separating, getting away from somebody, right? So it's saying to us, why don't you abandon your trying to be in charge and offer it to your high power? Why don't you try that? Is what it's saying to us. Well, I would if I believed in one. To the whole idea of high power is suspect with all the stuff going on in the world. I can totally understand somebody doubting the existence of a high power. But there's an explanation for that. So the first thing I'd like to do is go deeper. Now, how do you get started on this? He says, well, don't be concerned about how you can learn something on your own that's so completely different from everything you've learned. Stop being concerned about how you can learn something on your own that's completely different from everything you've ever learned. So we're learning something that's completely different from what we've ever learned, so stop being concerned about how you're going to learn it. That's rule number one. Stop being concerned about how you're going to learn the new learning. Then it goes on to say, your part is very simple. Okay, all I want you to do is remember the following. You don't want anything you learned from the world of fear. You don't want a darn thing that insane, fearful, crazy, unhappy, guilty, projecting people are teaching you or telling you or instructing you. The person that's never had a peaceful relationship shouldn't be the one telling you what you should be doing in your relationship. Now, what both of y'all should be doing is hanging out with somebody that knows. So, you know, I've seen lots of people who were trying to give me advice who weren't exemplifying any of the things that they were giving me the advice about. Because that kept them from dealing with the fact that they need to do it. So it says that your part is very simple. All I want you to do is remember the following. You don't want anything you've learned to come from the world of fear. Ask for God to teach you. I want you to take a minute to make up your word for God. If you haven't worked out your God issues, you don't want to say God. So I'm asking you to say what you need to say until you're ready to deal with your God issue. Because if your God issue was handled, it wouldn't bug you to say God or not say God. But if it bugs you to say God, you got issues. So you're not as enlightened as you think you are. Okay? Because I have to say all that is, universe, but I can't say God, and I would tell myself that means I'm much more enlightened because I'm not using these archaic terms to describe what seems to be a man in the sky. Now that means I'm more spiritual, but if I say the word, I go, that means you got issues. They haven't been corrected yet. You don't have the correct perception, because when you have the correct perception, you know what happens? Words don't bother you. None. I could cuss you out right now. You smile at me as much as you would smile at me if I said you were beautiful and loving when your mind is corrected. You understand? So you'll be sitting there saying, you know, he better not say ass.
Or tatas.
Yeah, tatas. Right, because that's not spiritual. I saw Star Wars just last night. I saw a lot of spiritual things in line. Okay, now, see, I want to be around people that I don't have to censor myself. If I have to censor myself, I'm not with the right person for a friend. You might be an acquaintance, you might be a person, I might give you a hug, I might say hi in the class, but you ain't hanging out with me and you're going to be judging me. But I ain't hanging out with you. Who needs it? What's the fun of that? I get enough of that without even trying. Why should I seek out friends to do it? That's crazy. You know, my friends gonna be judging me. I'm afraid to talk to my friends. So I looked at my partner when I was in 10, like 6th or 7th grade. We would talk about everything. We said anything to each other when we was kids. Anything. Horrible stuff and cool stuff. Still be playing with each other at evening. Let some of us try that, adults. Somebody just look at us the wrong way. I ain't never speaking to them forever. We need to become more childlike. That's what that's the enlightenment. Being more innocent, right? So it says, ask for God to teach you. I ask for God to teach me. Stop you. Okay, so I ask for God to teach me. He says, ask for God to teach you. So I stop and go, I ask for God to teach me. That's what I do when I read the course. Then it goes on and says, stop. I love this line. Stop using your experiences to confirm what you've learned in the past. What does that mean? Okay, I'm ready to have a loving relationship with you. But I'm going to say, I've never had a loving relationship with women in the past. So therefore, I don't believe I can have one with you. I'm using my past experiences to confirm. So stop using your past experiences to confirm why you can't have what you want. Stop that. Stop being concerned about how you're going to get this. Ask God, and then go, I'm no longer going to use my past experiences with money to keep me thinking the way that I do about money. I'm not going to use my past experiences about God to keep me thinking this. In other words, stop using your past experiences before you change your mind to confirm what cannot happen for you. And don't this make sense?
Yeah.
That's right. And because it makes sense. Help us, so great.
Need it right now.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. What you say? Don't get in your own way.
The Father's gifts, they are so many. All too many to ever control. Always flowing, ever plenty. So give thanks, and clown for. Come on. So don't get in your love's way. No, get in your own way.
Don't get in your own way. I do not know what anything, including this, means. What? I do know what anything, including this, means. Me doing this. I do not know what anything, including, you can see that by your face. I do not know what anything, including Earl, means. And so I do not know how to respond to Earl. Yeah. I don't know what anything, including this class, means. And so I do not know how to respond to you. I do not know how to respond to you. So I'm not gonna use my own past learning as the light to guide me now. I'm not gonna lose my own past learning as the light to guide me now. Say what? I am not going to use my own past learning as the light to guide me now. Christmas spirit, Christmas spirit, Christmas spirit, Christmas spirit. I do not know what anything, including this, means. And so I do not know how to respond to it. I will not use my own past learning. I will not use my own past learning. I will not use my own past learning as got me down. By this refusal to attempt to teach yourself. By this refusal to attempt to teach yourself. What you don't know, what you don't know, what you don't know. You're gonna let the guide whom God has given you speak to you. Will you let the guide that God has given you speak to you? What the hell with that? Say yes! Yes! Say yes! Yes! You allow love to speak to you. You allow truth to speak to you. Yeah! Your life is gonna be a reflection of the energy you're putting out. So with me putting out energy like this, what kind of life do you think I'm going to attract? I'm giving to you what I want to receive. I am giving to you what I want to receive. I am giving to you what I want to receive. Check that out, right? So then I would apply this and go, okay, I gave that because I wanted to receive it. It's a gift, which means I'm not going to have any demands about how you're supposed to respond to it. That's how it's a gift. You can like it, don't like it, clap or not clap, be dead or alive. I don't care because it was a gift. Now, if I had some kind of condition for how you should respond, then I've just imprisoned you with the gift I say I just gave you. So this Christmas, don't imprison people with your gifts. If they don't never wear your dress, don't get mad. Then you never see your gift again. Don't get upset. If you get it back the next year, re-gift it. They forgot. Don't you say nothing. See, because if it's a gift, if my love is a gift to you, then it's a gift. You don't have to make a commitment to me for me to make a commitment to you. Don't you ever say to me, I'll make a commitment to you when you make a commitment to me. Who cares about a commitment like that? I'm committed to my relationship with each and every one of you to try to teach two things when you're in the presence of me. Who I am and who you are to me. That's the only two purposes I have in any situation with anybody. To show them who I am and who they are to me. I'm loved and you are loved to me. I'm valuable and you are valuable to me. And a person who doesn't feel like they're valuable, they think you're lying whenever you tell them nice things. That's their issue. That's not yours. You still tell them loving things. The fact that they'll run away from you because they're suspicious and guilty is your protection.
Yes.
Wow.
It is.
That's your protection. You giving out good loving to somebody and then they're suspicious and afraid and they want to run, let them run. You're only going to hurt yourself if you try to hold on to something that's afraid of you. Fearful people can be vicious. It's, it's the creature you corner that bites you. That's why you notice I'm here and the door is there. That ain't no accident. You want a frightened person to be able to get up and walk out the room because they just heard the thing they needed to hear the most and they're not ready to hear it yet. So they call that resistance. So he goes on to say, your part is very simple. All I want you to do is remember the following. You don't want anything you've learned from the world. Ask for your Creator to teach you. Then I ask for the Creator to teach me. Stop using your experiences to confirm what you've learned in the past. So don't you say another time today, you know you can't have what you want because it hadn't happened in the past. If you're feeling afraid, if you're feeling frightened, if you're feeling threatened about anything, tell yourself this. I don't know what anything means. I don't know what this situation means. I don't know what this situation means. I don't know what this problem means. I don't know what this problem means. I don't know what this problem is about. I don't know what this problem between us is about. That's the way you started. I don't know what this is about. I don't know what the problem between us is about. Most people don't start a discussion like that. They start out already thinking they know what it's all about and they're getting ready to tear you off. The person will walk up and go, I don't know what this is about. I don't know what this means. See, all of you all's Uranus is square Mars. Right, you don't know how to respond to it because you don't know what it means. Right? You don't know how to respond to it because you don't know what it means. See, when you don't know what something means, you don't know how to respond to it. So that's why it says you want to say I don't know what anything means. Because if you were to say I don't know what anything means, you'd have that pause for a minute while you let your higher self tell you how to respond to it. But when you think you know, it's a whole different thing. So it says here, I don't know what this thing is about. Since I don't know what this means, I don't know the correct way to respond to it. I don't know what the situation means, and so I don't know the right way to respond to it. I don't know what they mean, so I don't know how to respond to them. I don't know what they mean, and so I don't know how to respond to them. I don't know what they mean to me, and so I don't know how to respond. I don't know how to respond to you because I don't know what you mean to me. Wow, that's deep. So I won't use what I've learned in the past as the thoughts to guide me now. I'm not going to use the thoughts that I've learned in the past. I'm not going to use my old ideas about my mother as the way to guide me now. When she says something at the dinner table that I think I know what it means, and so now I'm upset. I'm not going to use, I know for the first time this Christmas I don't know how to respond to my mother. I don't know what it means, and I'm not going to use my old ways of reacting to my mother as the light to guide me now. Practical application. Then it goes on to say, I won't use what I've learned in the past as thoughts to tell me what to do, so I'm not going to use my thoughts in the past to tell me what to do with this person. I won't use the way I used to see things as the way to see things now. I will not use the way I used to see things to be the way that I see things now. I will not use the way I used to feel what I feel now. I refuse to teach myself what I don't know. I refuse to teach myself what I'm not certain of. I refuse to teach myself so that God's voice that's been given to me can teach me now. This is the only voice that I want to be aware of. And I need to be more aware of God's voice than I am of mine. I want to be more aware of the Creator's voice than mine. I want to be more aware of the voice of love than mine. Now, these are all instructions. These are all instructions that I'm being given. So I'm going to offer God the correct place in my awareness. I'm going to ask the Creator to take its correct place in my awareness, and because I forgot. I forgot to give God the correct place in my awareness, which is the guide. So here we go. Now go again. I feel threatened. I feel upset. I don't know what this means. So I don't know how to respond to it. And I'm not going to use my old way of responding to the situation as the way to guide me now. Why should I do that? Because at that point, I refuse to judge the situation. I refuse to attempt to teach myself how to respond. And the Course is saying, as soon as you do that, you will hear God. And God will not be an abstract theory, but will become real to you because you've done what's necessary to allow the higher power to communicate with you in a way you can hear it. And as soon as you let go of being in charge of something that you're not very good at to begin with because you're not happy, then the part of you that loves you can take its place in your awareness and tell you exactly what to do. Question? Comments? Don't frown at me because I'm telling you some cool stuff. Stop frowning at me out there.
Funk. It's just...
I can't over-funk. If I over-funk, then it's just about the funk.
Not about the truth.
That's right. Not about the truth. All of a sudden it'll be about, twerking. Yeah. And that twerked pretty good. It was 65-year-old twerk.
How's everybody doing? How y'all doing?
Good.
I get a taste of how you feel now. There we are,
Well, it's my opportunity to learn how to give without expectations of receiving.
Yeah.
That's what everybody's giving us.
Yeah. So thank everybody for being a reflection of myself. I love myself. I just want to add to what was said in that we give everything all the meaning it has, right? So we don't know what anything, including this, means.
Could you come over this way, brother? So you would
Oh,
be
yeah.
on the video.
So
This
we
is my younger self.
Let me just say something. This is not a game. I hope y'all understand, right? This is not a game. This is not a drill. It's the real deal, all right? This is not a rehearsal for something else, all right? We don't know what the future holds. We place the future in the hands of God, but we don't know what anything, including the future, means, and so we don't know how to respond to our own thoughts about it. And so we won't use our past learning as a light to guide us now. It's not a game, and everything we are given the meaning for, we're giving it all the meaning it has. Nothing means anything. So not only do we not know what it means, it doesn't mean any damn thing. So any meaning that you're giving it is your meaning, and if you're not seeing it with love, you're not seeing it right. Because only loving thoughts are true. Everything else is some bullshit. So, thank you very much. Boom shakalaka. Have a Merry Christmas. I'm going back to New York, and I hope that everyone here remembers that you are loved, you are lovable, and you are loving. And it's not a drill. It's the real deal. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Some of them thinking, well, you're not going to New York, not a minute too soon. And then the other ones are going, God, that was great. Right? That's what it is, right? Right? Because that's what we do. We give meaning to everything and everybody. That's what we do all day. All day. All day. And once you really get that, you got the key to happiness in your hands. The once you get that one thing, you're never responding to anything directly. You're just responding to your interpretation of it, and that becomes a justification for your response. And that there's only two things happening, love or a call for love. And you won't see it as a call for love if you have an imagined need to attack. So if I want to attack you, I'm not going to see what you're doing as a call for God and a call for help and a call for healing, because I want to attack you. So it's my imagined need to attack and be mad that's keeping me from seeing everything in the world as what it is, a call for God. It's my need to attack, my need to be mad. Okay, so remember that about anybody you haven't forgiven or you holding a grievance against. It's blocking your miracles. Don't be surprised if you broke and you got a grievance against everybody around you, including yourself. So your grievances hurt you. They don't hurt the other person. The other person doesn't even know you're feeling them. They don't care if they're being happy right now. They don't even, a happy person not thinking about what somebody did to them in the past. Only unhappy people do. Happy people don't have time to deal with that crap about what happened in the 12th grade. It's miserable people that dwell on what makes them miserable. And what's making them miserable is the things they're dwelling on. Vicious cycle. So, it says, yes.
So, I have a two-part question.
Sure.
The first one is, okay, can you go back about what you were saying about the gift?
Uh-huh.
The way I heard what you were saying was that like okay, for instance, I'll give you an example. A good friend of mine, she gave me a gift last night, and you know, I was just like, wow. But then, like, the more I thought about it, like, I felt such appreciation and gratefulness about it. So then I sent her a text letting her know how appreciative and grateful I was for it. So my gift, like you were saying, whatever I give to myself. So my gift was that I felt appreciation and gratitude, and I gave it to her. And that was like the gift in itself. And whatever she does with it is her stuff, and I don't need to be concerned about that because I gave and I received the gift.
That's right. And the same thing with her. She gave you the gift, and if it's a true gift, she's not going to call you to make sure you're using it. If it's imprisonment, she'll be saying, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
When you're going to use it.
Right.
Always remember that. A gift is not something given with a condition on the receiver. Imprisonment is. That's why some people don't feel comfortable receiving. It's not that they don't want to receive, it's just that they're aware that it can become for some people a form of obligation. I know people who will say stuff to me like I never invited them to invite me out to dinner in the first place, and they'll invite me at several times and then say, well, you have never invited me. I didn't ask you to invite me. You invited me. That was supposed to be a gift. Now you're keeping score as to how much I'm returning what you gave me. Imprisonment. You're not going to fall in love with a person that's imprisoning you. So you don't get in bad relationships to begin with because you already know the person don't know how to love. So you don't bother. Because the hardest part about relationships is getting out of them after you got all that guilt intertwined. You understand? But if you could see it before it even showed up and knew not to get in it before you even started it, that's called vision. Vision is knowing the consequences of your actions before you take them. That's called vision. Okay, I'm watching this person constantly projecting blame and seeing other people that's responsible and they haven't let go of what happened when they was a kid. I think I'll pass on being their special partner. Unless I'm ready to deal with that as something to work through together. But see, I already know now that I need to take responsibility because we're getting ready to go through our patterns together. Why? Because I see yours and I see mine. So let's love each other first. That way, as they come up, we'll stick it out. Because we really like each other. Some people don't even know if they like each other. And they're trying to work it out. For what?
And so then the second part of my question was this statement, I do not know what anything cleanness means, and so I do not know how to respond to it, and I will not use my own past learning as a light to guide me now. So last night at work, I was having this issue, and like immediately, this was brought to my mind.
Okay.
But I didn't have access to be able to like say this, but I thought about it.
Right.
So is that enough, or do I have to like say it?
But the whole purpose of it is to get you in a state of mind that allows God to handle it. Okay. See, we're not doing all this so we can handle it. We're learning how to surrender and let something greater than us handle things. This is not another class for how to make you better at being autonomous. This is not the purpose of this class. Anybody here in this class just so you can get into more control or whatever, you already not doing a good job of control. You're in the wrong room. That's Miss Chukabuka's class down the street. This class is about taking responsibility for the way that you're feeling and allowing yourself to let something greater than you that loves you, that's a part of you, take over. Okay, that's what we're in there. That's what I'm in here for. That's what this is about, forgiveness. Forgiveness just means you're seeing me correctly for the first time. It doesn't mean you're overlooking what you think I've done. Forgiveness means you see correctly, finally, for the first time in your life, which means you're seeing that you are not a victim of the world you see. Until you're looking at it that way, you're unforgiven, and you have not forgiven.
So then it's not like God was
According to
saying,
this.
so it's not like God was saying, you didn't say this word for word, so I can't answer it.
No, only that's what we do. That's why I say don't use your own past learning, because it'll make you doubt the credibility and reality of God. Because you're using what you learned about God as a child. And then you projecting it. That's what he's saying. As long as you use your own past learning as the light to guide you, you're not going nowhere on the happiness path. But we've been taught to use our own past learning as the light to guide us. How's that worked out for you? So, can I go on a little bit further now?
Oh yeah.
All right, okay, that's right, so I like it. I like it. She's back there in the back saying, bring it. See, that's what, you go toward people like that, and you go away from the ones that go. It's deep, baby. It's so funny that we think life is complex. It's not complex at all. It's so ridiculously simple. We have to make it complex, right? So he says, and this is all stuff from the first paragraph because it's great. It's like it says also, you cannot be your guide to happiness because I love this one. You can't be your guide to happiness because you're the one who made trying to be happy necessary.
Wait, what is that again?
Okay, you cannot be your guide to happiness because you're the one that made trying to be happy necessary. Why are you trying to be happy? Well, it's because you're not. So it says you can't be your guide to it.
You'd already be there.
But that's because you're trying to be that. If I'm trying to be an airline pilot, I can't teach myself how to fly. Even if you say you're self-taught, you're using the instruction of somebody else. You're never doing it on your own when you don't know something, right? And then he goes on to say, and so the way for you to have happiness has been provided for you. I'll say it again. The way for you to have happiness has been provided for you. The way for you to have happiness has been provided for you because it was you who made it necessary to be happy. So you want to be happy, and the Course in Miracles is saying, see, but the Course in Miracles is a trip about is it's so loving I can't conceive of it. And that's what makes it a very difficult teaching. It's more loving than I can conceive of. In other words, you're not happy, well, there's a place for you to be happy that's been provided for you. Not only that, you can't make any needs that God won't meet. And this is all in that section. You can't come up with a need that the universe will not meet. You can't come up with a need that love will not meet. And it says, but you just have to turn to God a little bit. You have to turn to the truth a little bit. You have to turn to the Creator. It says a little bit, but your Creator can't make you turn to it. God cannot make you turn to God. And that's the problem. Your unhappy person is waiting for God to do something. They're waiting for God to compel them to listen to God. And love never compels you to listen to it. God would not try to make you turn to God. That's the problem. So until you decide to turn to your higher self, until you decide to turn to God, you'll think God doesn't exist because you think you know what something means, and then you go about trying to solve it on your own, which means you have not achieved the right state of consciousness to allow the guide that God has given you to tell you what to do or to heal the situation. So you'll say God doesn't exist. God doesn't answer my prayers. No, you haven't done the condition for God to hear you in the way that you can hear it. It's just like me being behind that door, and you're saying you want a glass of water, and I'm standing up behind the door saying, I have the glass of water. But you've got to open that door and walk in that door and get it out of my hand. And you sitting up there saying, Earl with the glass of water doesn't exist because I'm not getting up out of the chair, and I'm going through the front door to the sidewalk to get the water. And then I go, where's my glass of water? You're looking for love in all the wrong places, and you're looking for what you want where it's not located. That's why you don't have it. That's what this is saying. So don't you tell me nothing about no person not being available, or no job, or no career, or no satisfaction. I don't want to hear it. Because it just means you're not listening to the instructions that you're receiving. You still think you know what something means. And you're still using your old attitudes about God and help in life, and not allowing Spirit to give you the answer and to heal the situation, because you achieve the right attitude, Earl, that allows you to receive Earl. Because this is for Earl. And hopefully for some of you. But I know this lesson is for me because I'm teaching it. So I know this is for me because I'm teaching it. It might not be for you. It might not mean nothing to you. You might not get any juice out of what I'm saying today. But I know it's for me because it's coming through me. I know it's for you because you're here. It's no accident you're here. If it's no accident you're here, you were meant to hear this. Right? If it's no accident that you're here, you were meant to hear it. But the reaction of it is going to be the meaning that you give to it. And I have no control over that. That's your freedom. You're the meaning maker. You are the meaning maker. And your life is your meaning. The crunching is kind of getting me, brother. I gave it a meaning. It's neutral crunching. It's driving me out of my damn mind. Okay, so what does that mean? Does he have to never crunch? No. It means I can ask and he can say yes or no, and I respect his opinion about what he wants to do, but my ultimate goal is what? To not allow crunching to bother me. It would be much easier for me to change my mind about crunching than try to get everybody that's crunching in the world to stop crunching. That's called a control freak, and that's the way they operate. Okay? All right? So all you can do is ask. Because one thing I'm not going to do is kick his butt. This dude got a 9,000 degree black belt. I had a dream just the other night where you saved me. Yeah, I had done something. I swear to God. Naeem is coming. You have like an outfit with your hair. Your braids flying in the wind. Okay. So it really helped me a lot because I knew I could do the same thing again and be saved. Wasn't that the message?
Yes.
It wasn't that I should stop doing it, was it?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
None of it was making you happy.
That's right. That was making me happy. That's right. Thank you. Thank you. You're okay. I'm a very serious person, so this is the most I laugh all week. Now, you think I'm kidding? I'm serious as heck. Anybody that hangs around me knows it. One-on-one. I'm very quiet, and I'm very laid back, and I'm very introspective usually. This is my Sagittarian self. It comes out when I teach. It's like Michael Jackson. You know, how he was like dynamite on stage, and he used, you put when the thing bubbles. You know, see, we are multidimensional, and I want to free all the people in my life to have a variety of expressions and allow them to change. They don't have to be the same way every time they're with me, not my friends. All right. And when I have a friend, I'll see if I can test this out. Okay. Nobody's mad at me when you don't have no friends. I mean, I have friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I have friends. I'm just going off. I'm just using an extreme teaching example. So I don't want my friends to feel like they're not my friends. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was your friend. Like a Billy. Who you know? I'm nothing like I appear to be. And neither are you. This is your representative. I'm looking at all y'all's representatives right now. The one that's relaying the message to you. Well, I think you can believe that Earl said. That one was kind of suspect. That's what I'm looking at in the chairs, the representatives. Your representatives dress well, nothing like you do at home. That's what you go out with on the date, your first date, the representative. He's passing on the message to the other person, to the real one. Don't never go out with her again. So I want to see who's behind the representative. So I let you see what's behind the representative. That's what I do up here. I try to be vulnerable. Try to practice what I'm teaching. It's a radical concept. So, let's review this right quick.
Okay.
It says, you can't be your guide to happiness because you're the one who made trying to be happy necessary. So the way for you to have happiness has been provided for you because you made it necessary to make you happy. You can't make any needs that your creator. That's even bigger than the creator. When you get serious, go for the creator. And he says the way we got in hell and fear in the first place was we remembered not to laugh, and that's why I won't be so serious. Because seriousness is the food of the ego. Seriousness is the food of fear. Stop being so serious about your relationship, and the person will want to be around you. Have you ever thought about that? You're too freaking serious. Don't know how to play. Everything's got to have a deeper meaning every second. Well, I need to know where this is going. It's going out the door. That's where I'm going. That's where it's going. Out and away from you. You actually think I'm with you to make you happy? That's my job. The pay sucks. You know, like a mom. There ain't enough money in the world to pay a mom for all the work that they're doing all day with their children, and or the father that's doing that also. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not about money, it's about happiness. And you all ought to know by now how to be happy with no money. You ought to be like, cut that down. Why y'all slow learners? Don't you know that's why you broke? So obvious. You need to learn how to be happy with no relationship, happy with no money, happy with no health, happy with no successful career in your perception of success. You're learning how to be happy under all circumstances. You're just dealing with the circumstances you don't like right now. But you're going to get to other learning after a while. The other learning is how can you be happy with everything you think you want? We got to get the first part first. That means you got to laugh for nothing. There's no reason for you to. That's why it's cool when you laugh in the class. Your bill's still not paid, but you just laugh. That means that your bill's being paid has nothing to do with you laughing. You just laughed, and maybe you don't have a relationship. Well, you know now a relationship has nothing to do with your capacity to laugh. Why? Because you just did it. That's why some people won't laugh no matter what you do. Because they want to convince themselves that some condition outside of themselves needs to change before they can claim their power of happiness. So they go, why don't you invite me over? Because I want to be happy. Duh. I'm getting the name of my class. Duh. Would you acknowledge yourself for hearing this much? Just being willing to hear it. We're going to do the financial expression of appreciation for those of you who choose to share. Also, Paris is going to do a real cool affirmation from the Course in Miracles that we're going to do together before we leave. And those of you online, please share with me, please. Go to my website, earlpurdy.com, and feel no pressure to share with me. Those of you who would like to get serious about really getting rid of the blocks of the awareness of your happiness, then I really believe that I could be helpful to you through the clarity sessions, which are more about how do you live this and how do you apply it to the situation that you're using right now to keep you unhappy. So go to my website, earlpurdy.com, it explains it, and we can get together for a personal one-on-one. And I'm an astrologer, numerologist. And for those who are open-minded to use other means of receiving information, I have that available to you also. And you don't know what astrology means.
What?
Right, you don't know what numerology means.
You don't either.
You know, and that's what makes me a clear channel. Because somebody that doesn't know is not blocking knowledge. Somebody that thinks they know, they're blocking knowledge. Because you've already decided what's happening. And so how do you know the area that you don't know what's going on? Especially the area where you're most unhappy. Okay, baby. Would you come up here? Lord have mercy.
Hi, mighty companion. So I've been doing a lot of hooting and hollering this weekend and a lot of singing, so I hope that my voice isn't too rusty, but even if it is, thanks for loving me anyway. And so this is like a chant as I've been practicing some of the workbook lessons that just like came on through, and so feel free to sing along because it's so much more fun when we do it together. And one day soon I'm gonna have some beats up here to like accompany this, but right now it's my snapping fingers. I connect to the part of my mind that knows I am blessed. I connect to the part of my mind that knows I am abundant. I connect to the part of my mind that knows I am blessed. I connect to the part of my mind that knows I am abundant. I connect to the part of my mind that knows I am blessed. I connect to the part of my mind that knows I am abundant. I connect to the part of my mind that knows I am blessed. I connect to the part of my mind that knows I am abundant. I connect to the part of my mind that knows I am holy. I connect to the part of my mind that knows I am free. I connect to the part of my mind that knows I am holy. I connect to the part of my mind that knows I am so free. Yeah, oh yeah.
All right. See, that's a gift. That was a gift. You know, same thing with Naeem sharing as a gift. When I open it up and say, hey, you can share or ask a question, I mean that. That's your chance. That's your chance to get up and say, you know, I love what you're saying, I hate what you're saying, and, you know, I don't care. I want to be a demonstrator. I want to practice what I'm teaching with you. So I'm trying to learn how to let people be. It's hard. Because I have fantasies, you see. I have things that I want you to do for me, to make me happy. And I'm trying to get over it.
The Course in Miracles says Christmas should represent the end of sacrifice.
That you should be saying to each other, Merry end of sacrifice. Hey y'all, I want to wish you a merry end of sacrifice. Say what? I say a merry end of sacrifice. Merry end of sacrifice. Stop asking people to sacrifice their happiness for you. Stop asking people to make a sacrifice for you. True love does not ask for sacrifice from you. True love wants you to know that it's okay to do what you want to do. Do not ask anybody to do anything that's unnatural for them. Only ask people to do things that are natural for them. Only ask people to do things that are really natural for them. Stop asking people to do things they don't really want to do for you as a sign of love, because Christmas is the end of sacrifice. When I say Christmas is the end of sacrifice. So whoever feels like it, would you say this one thing with me? I am entitled to miracles. I am entitled to miracles. Say what? I am entitled to miracles. 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 So tell somebody in the room, Mary, in the sacrifice, to somebody sitting around you. Then tell somebody, Mary, in the sacrifice, who's sitting around you. Mary in the sacrifice, Mary in the sacrifice, Mary in the sacrifice. You are innocent, loving, you are beautiful, that's the truth about you. Let's go, yes! Yes! I say yes! Yes! I am juicy and cute. I am juicy and cute. I am spirit and love. I am spirit and love. I am spirit and love. And I am free. no more. I think of an attitude.
Yes,